So today we're exploring how we're brewing with a V60 filter in an Origami brewer. Back with more brewing videos. This time we're going to showcase again the Origami brewer. We already done a video with this using a flatbed Kalita filter, and now we're doing a video using a V60 filter. So we're going to start by just rinsing out the filter. Quick rinse. We recommend doing about at least 100 grams of water, a bit depending on filter. And what we're going to do here is a slightly larger brew, because one of the features with the Origami is that it's actually very wide. And very wide is basically changing the pressure of the brew, which is allowing you to brew a lot faster than on a traditional V60. That's the main kind of difference that we see. So therefore we like doing larger brews. So we're going to dose 20 grams of coffee. And I'm going to do my first initial pour with a 100 gram circle pour all the way through. Now the water temperatures that we have here sits at 92 degrees Celsius, which is a bit higher than what we're working with. The reason for that is because we have a coffee that is very acidic inherently, wash process Ethiopian coffee, that needs a bit more body, a bit more sweetness. So therefore we're upping the temperature to get a bit more sugars out. So we're gonna let this sit for 45 seconds. And after this, we're gonna start with a slow, continuous 200 gram pours. So we're dosing 20 grams and we're gonna do a total of 300 grams of water. We're trying to keep the coffee bed even here in terms of how much water we have, right? So we don't wanna pour too fast, basically filling the whole filter up. So we're pouring in a very slow, steady stream. And this is causing the coffee grounds to sit a bit more stable. So you have a bit more controlled flow rate and a more controlled extraction. So the brew time that we're looking at here is going to be about 230, 240 in total. And it's cool with the Origami because again, you're able to use different filters, both being a flatbed as well as the V60. Do we have a preference? Not necessarily. I think both work fairly okay. What's important to think about is that from my experience, the smaller the brew you do, the slightly more uneven the extraction. So we really prefer doing larger extractions working with the Origami. Other things that are important here is we're talking about grind size and we're talking about days after roasting. So grind size here on a Commandante, that will translate to about 29 clicks on a standard grinder, which is basically a tiny bit finer than what we're used to. But again, it's just to compensate for this kind of increased faster flow rate. So we're coming up at 230 and that's when I'm going to lift this off. And then we also see that all of the coffee has drained through the coffee bed as well. Days after roast is always important when you talk about brewing coffee. We tend to rest our coffee for at least 2 weeks before we start brewing it. This is making sure that we get the best quality cup. It's clean and decast properly. Plus it brews up a lot more consistent as well. So that was our Origami brewing using a V60 filter. If you have any comments, just right below here, and also don't forget to look out our Origami video with the flatbed filter as well. Thank you guys for watching.